producer Donna's son Sean wanted to give his drum kit a makeover, so he went to the best person for paint advice, Sharon.
Hey Sean, it's nice to meet you. I hear you've got a pretty awesome project there. Why don't you tell me about it?
Yeah, so I was thinking of painting my drum kit. The wrap on the drum has started to peel off, and it's has a bunch of cracks and some marks on it, and honestly the color, I just kind of outgrew it.
What is your inspiration for color change?
I see a lot of instruments like guitars and drums that are painted like a nice light blue.
Makes me think of like an old car or some of the old appliances.
You've got a nice blue backdrop behind you, so something lighter will kind of stand out well. So Sean, I think you've got a pretty big project ahead of you, but it sounds like you've got some time. So let's think about the first thing. The first step is going to be to remove all that hardware, which in my opinion will probably be the hardest. The second step will be removing that skin, which I think from what I've seen, a really quick way of doing it is using a heat gun. Now, have you ever used a spray gun?
No, I have not. I've only seen videos of people doing it, and it looks easy, but then when I actually opened up the kit and saw what I was working with, I had no idea what I was doing.
You might have to do a lot of sanding. Prime it a little bit, sand it a bit, prime it again, and then that way you're kind of got a super smooth finish before you get started, and that always helps get the best result afterwards.
Okay, Sean, so you're all done. How did it go?
It was good. It took a couple weeks, but in the end it was worth all the effort.
Well, that's not bad. Okay, well, the moment I've been waiting for. Drum roll, please. Oh, look at that. Oh, they're beautiful. Caribbean coast. I love it. Wow. Okay, Sean, you did an amazing job. Even from here, one day maybe I'll see them in real life, but from here it looks absolutely amazing. So do they sound as good as they look? Let me hear. Wow, I think they sound even better in Caribbean coast. So way to go, Sean. You did an awesome job. You should be really proud of yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, they look really nice.
A drum kit. I would never have expected that you could paint that. So Sharon has a whole roundup of unusual paint projects for us. Good to see you, Sharon. What are we starting with?
Okay, Tracy, so I think the strangest one, and I think you've seen some pictures of this, is my husband's 1964 Land Rover. Now, this is one that I don't recommend that people do, but it's definitely the strangest thing that we painted, and we painted it 3 times over the last 20 years. So most people use a limo for their getaway vehicle after the wedding. Well, we used the Land Rover, and we had just freshly painted it with two-tone, a nice sort of Dijon, and I think it was called Grasslands Green. So that was our sort of getaway vehicle for the wedding. And then 12 years later, we let the kids paint it. So this time they painted it their favorite color, orange. So it was actually called Gold Rush. And then again, just recently for Father's Day, we decided to paint it one more time, make it a whole family deal, and we painted it with the same direct-to-metal paint in Bella Blue. So it's a little more conservative now, and, you know, Colin's using it more than Larry now.
Now, what else do you have in terms of unusual paint projects for us?
Okay, well, I painted my fair share of fridges, and you might remember, Tracy, a couple of years ago on Cityline, we brought an old fridge into the studio, and for that one, I painted it a nice sort of retro hazy blue color. When you do want to paint a fridge, it actually isn't that difficult. Not a nice new stainless steel, but some of those old retro ones that are still working, and the key is really Stix primer, and it does what it says it does. It kind of sticks to all of those weird surfaces. So once you put the Stix primer on, you can pretty much paint with anything. So I tend to like to use the Advance in a high gloss, so it sort of replicates that high gloss finish of the fridge. And again, you can kind of paint it in any color, so it's a fun project. Other strange things, ceramic tile. And I wouldn't say strange because actually a lot of people do ceramic tile. This is a really glossy wall tile that a lot of people might have in their bathroom or in their kitchen. And it's kind of something, it's not a totally permanent solution, but it's an awesome solution while you're saving up money to do that big reno if you really can't stand the blue or the pink tile. So with that, again, it's cleaning. It's always make sure everything's super clean with the detergent. I like TSP. I tend to use that. And then Sticks primer, again. So you put the Sticks primer on, and then again, I coated it with Advance in a high gloss, just to kind of neutralize the whole thing. But when it comes to floors, that's where you kind of do the same thing. Like I've got a ceramic tile, which is actually quite nice, but again, sometimes people want to have a very different look, a little bit more modern perhaps. Clean, Sticks primer. Then it's important when it's a floor to use a floor paint. So the latex floor and patio paint is epoxy reinforced, so it can handle like all the foot traffic.
Now, I remember pretty vividly when you repainted your sister's pink bathroom tiles, which was amazing, and as you said, a really good thing that you could use while you're waiting to have your full reno. Let's switch now to wood. So is it the same process if you want to paint wood floors?
When it comes to floors, I don't think many of us are going to want to paint our nice new hardwood floors, but sometimes they're old and you can't even sand them and stain them a second time or a fifth time if they're 25 years old, because the nails are popping. So when it's wood, it's a matter of sanding off the sheen and then using the floor paint again. But another great way to sort of save money, and it's something I did in my first house like in the late 90s, was I took off the ugly broadloom carpet and I was left with that plywood subfloor, and that's actually a really great solution, and I've done it a couple times for people at cottages. If it's raw wood though, you want to prime it with something a little heavier duty, not Sticks, but like a Fresh Start primer that will seal. Then the floor paint, and again, I know we've done this a few times on the shows where we've used a stencil, or you could do stripes, you could do something fun for the floor, and that's what you would do for wood.
Okay, Sharon, now what about windows? Can you paint those?
Absolutely, Tracy. We get asked that a lot. When you've got, an older window especially, you probably don't want to be painting anything new, but as soon as it gets aged a little bit, the paint can stick to it. So actually, Benjamin Moore's Aura, whether it's a satin or a semi-gloss, can generally be painted directly. So here, this was a fairly slick finish, but I painted it with 2 coats in wrought iron, and I think that's something a lot of us want to do when you're refacing the whole front of your home, but your windows are in great shape, but that white can really stand out, so a lot of people are going to that darker, more industrial look. And you can also do that in the interior, just same thing, use Aura in an interior paint, whatever finish you want.
The best thing I've learned from you is trim does not have to be white, and that's a lifesaver of a rule there when it comes to your decor. Sharon, thank you so much. That is such a great roundup. There is nothing she can't